Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors of Marketing with Russ, Shortstops, Burger, Shakes, and Fries in Albany, Oregon, and Haugen's Gallery. For more information on Haugen's Gallery Portrait Studio and their amazing personal branding photography, go to haugensgallery.com. And for more information on Shortstops, Burger, Shakes, and Fries and their amazing burgers, go to southpawspizza.com. I have been muted this whole time. Just noticed that. Okay. Good morning, everybody. We're going to take this again. Take two. I don't know how that got muted, but I'm unmuted now. So glad to have everybody here. Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. You watched me ramble on and you couldn't hear a word I said. So I just want to thank you for being here. Marketing with Russ. We're here every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And I'm so happy to have you here today. Just wanted to thank you all. What I was saying with impassioned just enthusiasm a moment ago was thanking you all for what a blessing you've been to me, for your prayers, your strength, still going through issues, still trying to overcome this blood sugar thing so I can move on with the cancer surgery and things they have ahead of me. So I appreciate your ongoing prayers, but I want to thank you for being here. And I feel blessed that I can be here. I feel blessed that I am with a wonderful, wonderful community of people that care, and I care so much about you. So I want to be able to give you value, strength, positive mindset, and hope today. And how are we going to do that? Well, in a little bit, we have our guest, Joe Johnston, coming on. He's just an amazing guy. You'll be blessed by him. So right now, I just want to remind you, if you are watching live, or let's say you're watching on a replay, you can share this out right now. So share it, hit that share button, because you do not want to miss what's coming up. Also, this show, as you know, is all about how amazing people connect. And, connection and community building is at the foundation of every good business, every good marketing plan, really every good life. So we talk to amazing people that add value to your life. And so I want to encourage you today to share this out, let other people know what's going on. Also, if you'd let us know where you're watching from today, that'd be amazing. Thank you for that. Because, I love to connect with people from all over the world. The best way to do that is to go to russhedge.com. That's russhedge.com. And you can connect directly with me. That's right. russhedge.com has all of my social media, my email, my phone number. You can even schedule time right on my calendar. Love to have you do that. Also, become part of our YouTube community today. To subscribe, all you got to do is go to marketingwithruss.live, marketingwithruss.live, and you can subscribe today. You get all of the upcoming notices about content coming out, which is every week, Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and Daylight Time, and you also get access to all the past content. Amazing people. You don't want to miss that. Just take a quick drink of water here. All right. So, also just wanted to remind you that if you've not got your copy of my book, Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, I'd love for you to grab a copy of that. You can go to my website and you can go to russhedge.com to get that, or you could go on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any online bookseller, pick up your copy today, paperback or ebook. Also, I have a companion workbook that goes along with that. So if you got the book, but you haven't got the companion workbook, you should go up and get that today. It helps you gain more value from the book. So thank you all. Thank you all so much. So, okay, I can tell my voice is going to be short-lived this morning. So we're going to bring Joe on and let him start doing some talking. Morning, Joe.
Morning, Russ. I like to talk, so
there you
perfect
go.
fit.
Hey, that's why we get along so good.
That's right, my man. How are you? Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, you know what? I'm doing okay this morning. You know what? I'm just going through life. We have our ups and downs. We have our little bumps in the road, but you know what? God has got this, and I'm just moving through and keeping faith.
That's it, man. That's all you can do sometimes. The end is secure is something that my business coach says all the time. And it's very, very true, right? The end is secure in every aspect of life. And like keeping that in mind and having that faith that wherever you're going, the end is secure. One of the things I've been doing lately, Russ, I don't know, hopefully this will be useful for yourself, your listeners, is like really trying to take time every day to like put myself in the state of where I want to be. Right. So where I want to be in my health and my relationships and my finances and my business and every aspect, every aspect of my life that I care about, like taking 5-10 minutes a day of like acting and thinking like I'm already there and being like I'm already there and getting yourself into that energetic state is something I've been doing. It's been pretty powerful, and it kind of gets you through some of those difficult times where you feel like things are falling apart. It's like, nope, end is secure. I'm already there in my mind and my body. And now I'm just waiting for the world to catch up. So that's something I've been practicing.
That's incredible. I completely agree with you. And that's why we get along so well, is because I every morning do the same thing with quiet time, prayer and meditation, taking a look at where I'm at and where I want to go, giving yourself time to really set your focus on what's ahead and what you've got going. And, I think people that don't give themselves that time and that focus on those things, it makes it, you're always kind of a little bit behind as the day goes on. So I think that's a huge, huge plus. Before we get too far into this, though, let's back up. Let's tell everybody, who is Joe and what are you all about?
Yeah, what a deep question, right? Who is Joe? There's so much to that. I guess I'll start with the business side of things, right? So I'm a professional speaker agent, coach, consultant, and then also the owner, co-founder, and founder of two companies. So one is M.I.I. Professional Speaking, which is my original company, like my baby. That's our speaking agency where we represent about 18 different expert speakers, myself being one of them. And we go out and book those speakers to different stages. So different events, conferences, colleges, universities, corporations will bring in external guest speakers or trainers or consultants to do work with their employees, their students, their audience members on different subject matter expert subject areas. So we'll connect with those folks and we have clients there. And then, we kind of feed them speakers as the middleman. And then also off of that, which I started about a little over a year ago with my business partner, Aaron, who's also a very successful keynote speaker, is our consulting company, Initiate Connections, where we basically help expert speakers, coaches, authors, speakers, podcast hosts, whoever it is, to really teach them in a done with you, do it yourself manner, how to grow and scale their own paid speaking businesses, to have more income impact and and inspiration to others. So that's like high level overview of me. Born and raised in Massachusetts, where I'm actually back home. I got a couple bachelor parties and weddings coming up. So I live down in Austin, Texas now, which is amazing. It's the Northeast up here, man. It was like 80 last week, and now this whole week it's like 45, 50. So definitely like being down in Austin, where it's pretty consistently 90, 95 and sunny every day. But that's like high level overview of myself and what I do on the professional side of things.
That's great. Well, Austin is a great area. I've got a whole bunch of friends from there, and actually, my daughter has got a really close friend. She's back and forth from Austin a few times a year, seeing her friends. She loves that area as well. I'm kind of a Northwest guy. I like the cool and then the warmer later, and I like the fluctuating temperatures and all that. So, yeah. But you know what? Wherever we are, I love what you talked about. Let's talk a little bit more about your business, because you're obviously a gifted speaker and have done this for a while, and that's amazing. And I love how you do that, and you and your partner bring in other speakers and do that as well. But helping people with their business, what do you find the biggest struggle people are having, and when you're helping them grow and move and scale in their business?
Yeah, when it comes to, the speaking businesses and the speakers that we work with, the experts that we work with, the biggest thing that we find, it's a couple things, right? The main thing though that most of our speakers come to and that we really help with them, and like the biggest place we help them, is with their lead generation and just generating more quality conversations with folks that have the ability to book and pay them to speak based on their expertise and the audiences that they want to speak to, right? The fact of the matter is, like, particularly early on for a lot of speakers, they're just not talking to enough folks, right? They're not shaking enough hands. They're not connecting with enough people, and they're not generating enough conversations that could potentially lead to then, business, speaking gigs, and ultimately revenue, right? So that's really one of the biggest, and I think there's a variety of factors of why folks don't do that. One, it's time consuming. Two, it is obviously work. Three, it's a little uncomfortable to reach out to people if you don't know them, or to go to networking events or whatever it is. But really just not knowing how to generate enough conversations. A lot of the speakers we work with, they're exactly that. They're speakers. They want to speak. They have a message. They have a story that they love, and they love being on stage. But when it comes to actually then getting themselves on those stages, like, that's half the battle. And particularly early on, when no one knows you, it's like you have to generate conversations with folks that can book and pay you to speak and get you on stages. And so those lead generation sources are really the big areas that we help our clients. LinkedIn, email automation, getting their content out there so that they're more known to the world and they can start generating more conversations. And the thing that we say, Russ, is like, look, like, reaching out to people cold, or, reaching out to people out of the blue can feel a little weird, but you have to come from a place of service and solving problems. Like, the biggest thing my clients now who, bring us a lot of revenue on a yearly basis is the ones that we solve the most problems for. Like, they need speakers every month. They need speakers, a couple times a year, and we're partnered with them because we have speakers that can provide value to them. And the thing that I say is, like, if you can solve someone's problem through your message, like, it's your duty to reach out to them and get in touch with them and get them on a call. So that's the biggest issue we see with a lot of the speakers we work with, is just they're not generating enough conversations. They don't have enough calls on the calendar that could even convert to a certain amount of deals, which would then, allow them to make more revenue and potentially do this full time or scale this up to where they want it to go with their message.
Well, and that all brings us back to one of the main foundations of life that I talk about all the time, is connection. If we are not continuing to connect, and this is one thing I'd like you to speak on, because I love what you're talking about. Because yes, things all start there, generating those conversations, talking to people, connecting, really connecting and caring. Like you said, coming in at a place from service and how you can add value to them makes such a huge difference, instead of, what can I sell you? How can I make money off you? What it's all about, what I get instead of what you get. And I think what's really important too is people don't realize this is a continual process. So we talk about the know, like, and trust factor. Most people look at that like a ladder. Know, like, and trust, whoop, made it, right? They trust me, right? Well, no, it's a continuous process with people over and over and over, getting people into that process, getting them to trust you and be able to work with them. And so talk more about that, because I think that is key to any good business, no matter what field you're in, especially what you're talking about.
Yeah, 100%, right? And what you're talking about to a degree is like that marketing funnel and getting
Yeah.
people and showing up, showing up like we're showing up now. And I'll be honest, Russ, this is something that like me and my business partner we are very cold outreach heavy, and I'll never not, I think, do cold outreach because I think it's a good way. It's obviously a numbers game to get people in the funnel. But I mean, I'm spending, a lot of time tomorrow and Wednesday shooting a bunch of content and just providing a bunch of value, because I have so many friends now in Austin who are doing better than us, and like from a revenue perspective and business wise. And like, I finally seen the value of content. I'll be like straight up, I didn't see the value of it for a very long time. But in the digital age that we live in today, like providing free value through your social channels and before these folks even talk to you is huge. We've had clients who have gone through other programs and like we just provided them a bunch of value on the front end. We were like, hey, change up this in your LinkedIn profile, go from inspirational speaker to professional speaker. They're like, dude, you provided me more value before I even paid you than some people did that I paid. Like I was having conversations with you that I didn't even have in this program that I paid for. Right. And so it's one of our core values at Initiate Connections is like always lead with value. And it's something I'm really focused on now is like, how can we provide as much value on the front end to help some of these folks solve some of their problems? Like we have a whole page on our website that's just free trainings, and it's just free trainings around different pain points that we have found speakers struggle with: finding clarity, setting up lead generation, sales, creating your talk, creating your marketing assets, how much to charge. And it's like, we just want to provide as much free value as possible, so people can get that, whether they work with us and pay us or not. It's like, come from a place of abundance. Like, let's just overload with value. And man, I found that to be true in so many different aspects of my life. Is like, it's like, man, you go to relationships to give and you go to relationships to serve. And look, I have not always been, the best in relationships. But I'm really realizing that as I, turned 27 a couple of weeks ago. It's like, dude, it's all about service.
Ooh,
it's all about letting the ego down. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I still feel young. My stock keeps going up with every age. That's what I say. I'm like a fine wine. But it's like, look, like it's all about serving and keeping the heart open and just knowing, like, if you serve, if you provide value, the money comes. And like, it just has, you know what I mean? Like, I've just found that to be true in my life more times than other, and true in business more times than other. It's like, look, if we show up and provide more value than anyone else, we are not going to have to worry about the money. And we haven't, you know what I mean? Like, money has grown, revenue has grown every month. Like, we're growing, and it's such a better place to come from too. You know what I mean? Like, than coming from like a salesy place and like trying to make $1. And trust me, like early on in business, like I was there. It's like, dude, you don't have any revenue. You don't have any monthly recurring. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm going to have to dip into my savings if I don't make money this month. And it's like, it's a tough place to be. But if you can just try to override that and always come from service and always come from a place of just helping people, and back to our point, know that the end is secure. Know that, like, hey, you'll hit your revenue goals for the month. You'll hit your revenue goals for the quarter if you just come from a place of service and come from abundance and like really just try to help people out, And it's something we've seen a lot with our consulting offers. Like, one of the reasons why Aaron and I are so passionate about growing it is because like people are struggling. Like, there's a very real need for folks who have a message, who want to get that out to the world, who want to speak more. And like, there's other programs in the space that just, they're not getting what they need from. These programs are good, but we really believe that we have something here that is like not being taught by the majority of these programs. And so, it's coming from value. It's solving people's problems. Like, business is literally all about the problems that you can solve, and the bigger problems you solve, the more you'll get paid. So yeah, it's huge, man. Relationships are everything. I mean, again, a lot of my clients now, my business now for my speaking agency comes from repeat clients. They know me, they like me, they trust me. They're like, you're my guy. I had a client a couple months ago. She's like, hey, you're my speaking guy. Anytime I need a speaker, I know I got you, and you're going to give me someone quality. And it's like, that's what you want to be. And the only way you get there is by coming out, serving, coming from a place of value, doing great work, and being easy to work with.
I think we can say that over and over and over too. Coming from a place of abundance, value, service, because where you come from shows whether you really care or not. I love the quote by John Maxwell that says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. If you're giving them and serving them and looking at what value you can do for them, as opposed to what can they do for you and what value can they give to you and all of that, That's how connection happens. That's how true relationships are built. That's how community comes together, and that's where the magic happens. That's where you make this kind of situation where you have people, some people call it raving fans, that love you so much. You're their speaker guy. They know where to go because you have got it all together. So I love what you say there too, being a little bit authentic and real about the fact that you haven't always been in this place and you've had to learn and grow, in all your 27 years. You are wise beyond your years, let me tell you, because you are 3 and 5 years younger than my children. But I mean that in a good way. You are young. You got it going on. You are very, very. I love your message. I love your message. And so what it does is it draws people to you. That's something that people need to think about in connecting, because when they go out, people look at, I'm going to do these cold calls. I'm going to do all this stuff because I need this. I need this. You're looking at abundance and we and them and what can we do to add value to other people. That's what people are drawn to.
Yeah, 100%, man. And like, here's the thing I'm realizing, Russ, and you are wiser than I am, especially in this department. Like, I'm realizing it's the same as I turn 27. Like, I'm realizing it's the same thing in my personal relationships as well. You know what I mean? It's like you go to relationships, whether they be intimate or friendships or people in your family, to serve. And like, look, you obviously need to get your needs met as well, right? Like, that is critically important. But it's like, man, like the more I come to my relationships and like, buy my buddy a drink when we go out to get a smoothie, or, just open my heart to, someone that I'm on a date with or someone that I'm dating. Like it's such a better place to come from. You know what I mean? And again, you have to make sure that your needs are getting met and like, what you need and like, you're getting that in that relationship. But I'm starting to realize like in my personal relationships as well, it's all about service. And again, as I turn 27, one of the quotes I have in my mind is like 27, more living, more loving, more serving. And it's the key, man. It's the key, and if you serve and you come from a place of, abundance and just wanting to give, and again, like serving yourself first, like you always have to serve yourself first and take care of yourself, you will get it back tenfold. And the thing that I'll say as well, like one of the things that's been huge for me, and I appreciate you saying, wise beyond my years, is, the environment that I've been able to get myself into, because one of the big reasons that I moved to Austin, Texas was to get around like-minded individuals and folks and people who are on the same wavelength as me. And now, I'm talking to a friend last night. It's like my standard for the people that I spend time with and the people that I hang out with regularly and let into my life and like give energy to is like very, very high. My standard for myself is very high, but my standard for the people that I spend time with and I'm going to give my time and energy and love to is also super high, because I know my worth. I know, who I am and what I'm giving to the world. And I'm not just going to give that to anyone. Right. And making sure that that's getting reciprocated is so huge. And I think that's such a big thing. That's one of the speaking topics I talk about, is like how to really build a killer social circle, but really prosperous and deep and fulfilling relationships. Has been one of the biggest things that I've got out of moving to Austin, Texas, is really just optimizing my social circle and having really deep, intimate relationships with people. It's huge, man. I mean, life's all about relationships and the quality of your relationships. And that's, again, something that I'm really committing to as I go into this next year of my life, is the people in my life and that they're supporting me and I'm pouring into them. They're pouring into me, because there's so much fulfillment and joy that comes from that process.
Yeah, well, that's just it. Because when you're fulfilling your life by serving and coming from this place of abundance to start with, you're obviously, it makes it so much easier to connect to others. But I want to bounce back to that really quick as we start to already wind the show up. But I want you to talk a little bit more about, so people need to be really in a strong foundation or a good purpose in all that they're doing. You have been talking about that. You're coming from a place of abundance, a place of giving and serving. And that is what, again, as I said before, draws people. It brings people to you, because people love that when people care and listen to them. That's a big part of that, is listening. But we have got to be secure in who we are and where we are. And we got to think about, who are we cultivating relationships with and who is in our circle, because the environment is everything. The environment you put yourself in and that you're drawing to you, it's going to make a huge difference on where you go from there. Correct?
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, 100%, right? It all starts with self. It all starts with you knowing where you want to go and what your vision is for your life in different areas, and then just like, man, creating your world around that. You know what I mean? And creating the, external reality. I mean, again, it starts internally like we talked about, and really visual. And here's the thing that I'll say too, Rush, like this is like there's different stages of this, right? And it's like one of the things that I've been working on lately. I was talking about the visualization process. Part of the reason that I'm doing that is because like I like was fighting so long to get to where I'm at now. And like where my life is now 2 years ago was what I was visualizing it being like. And now, you get there, and as a growth minded individual, like you're like, okay, what's next? Like what's the next level? Like I'm here. This isn't going anywhere. I'm at this revenue mark. I have these people in my life. Everything that I wanted for a long time is like here as I turn 27. And then also there's another level. There's more to me that I'm capable of that I can expand into. And so you have to like reset that vision again and say, what is that? What is that next level? What do I want again? I'm asking myself that question again. What do I want at this stage of my life? What do I want in the next 12 to 24 months? And so that's something that, I'm diving into as well. And then to your point, once you get clear on what that vision is and what you want, then you can start to craft everything around it. And if you're acting from the end being secure, and you're acting from a place of abundance and like, look, this thing has already happened, then, you start to just create that. And like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And then you
Well,
wake up one day and you're like, wow, this is everything I wanted for so long.
let me just jump in there and say that's like mic drop after mic drop. You are you're full of so much value, and all that you say, people should be taking notes quickly, because if you can keep up with Joe on your notes, you're doing good. But yes, he's got so much value, and I want to tell you that I just love what you're all about, where you come from. That is what when I talk to people originally, Joe, you could tell right off the bat the kind of person they are, where their intent is, what they're trying to accomplish. And not everybody is doing that. I'm blessed with an amazing community that is all working to provide value, to collaborate, to work together, to do great things in this world, and to take it to the next level, like you said, and do it in a positive way together, giving to other people, adding value, having that abundance mindset. I just love all of that. So we need to wrap things up, and I need you to give everybody, out of all of that amazing information you gave, your gold nugget of the day, and then let people know how they get in touch with you.
Yeah, man. I'm thinking of the gold nugget. There's a million. I come back to a quote. I come back to a quote that hits home, and it might sound a little cliche, but it's a quote that it's been one of my favorite quotes for a while, and I have a lot of favorite quotes. But it's success is one thing and impact is another. I live to impact people. And I think that's really true, man. I mean, I think there's a science to success, and there's a science to making money. And Tony Robbins talks about this. There's a difference though between the science of success and the art of fulfillment. And we know plenty of people who have mastered the science of success but miss the art of fulfillment. And so when I think about that quote, I think about something similar, right? Success is one thing, but impact is another. I live to impact people. One of the reasons that I love doing what I do is because like my impact is, I don't even know what my impact is. It's 10x. You know what I mean? With the speakers that we help, and then they go out and impact thousands and thousands of lives through their presentations and their speeches. It's like, man, like my impact goes beyond me just sitting there with that speaker and helping them get on stage, like it is tenfold, because I have leverage in that situation. So that's one of my favorite quotes. That's one of my gold nuggets. In terms of where to find me, at the Joe Johnston on Instagram is probably the best way. There's my website, email, LinkedIn there as well. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. I'd say LinkedIn and Instagram are some of my more active platforms, definitely my two most active. And then email, I'm always checking that on a daily basis as well. So yeah, connect. If you're interested in speaking, you need help kind of scaling the speaking business, going to the next level, or you just want to have a conversation and connect, I'm always down to connect and chat with more people and more cool folks. And I appreciate you, Russ. I appreciate our friendship. I appreciate the relationship we have, and I appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to come in and speak to your community today.
Oh, you bet. You bet. Anytime, you're always welcome, because you add so much energy and you impact me every time we talk. So I appreciate that. And I want to say it one more time so we make sure we get that down in the comments, in the show notes. It's at Joe Johnston on Instagram.
E
Is
Joe
that right?
Johnston. So THE. Yep. At the Joe Johnston.
At the Joe
THEJOE
Johnston. Got it.
JOHNSTON on Instagram.
Perfect. We'll make sure and get that for Instagram as well. And yeah, no, I appreciate you being here because, again, I love the whole statement about impact because it is how we impact others. My why or purpose in life is to inspire and encourage other people to live a purpose-driven life of significance. And what I always tell them, what does that mean? It means I want you to be a world changer. I want you to be a difference maker. I want to impact your life so you can use your God-given gifts to do amazing things. And that is what you were just talking about, that impact on other people. And I appreciate that so much. So, well, we're going to wrap it up here for today. Thanks so much for being here. I'm going to say goodbye, but hang tight for just a moment because I want to talk to you in the green room. And thanks so much again for being here, Joe.
You got it, brother.
All right. Amazing. 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 We want to make sure and get that at the Joe Johnston. I'm gonna put that in the comments here, so we make sure and get that down. And I just want to thank you for being here today, everybody. I'm gonna type this in as we go. At the Joe Johnston. I know I could get it in there, and that's Instagram. There we go. All right. So listen, everybody, thanks so much. I am amazed again at the amazing people that join us in the comments. All my friends, thanks so much for being here supporting. I can tell you that means so much to me. So I am just thankful you're here today. Remember, we're here every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, for your listening and viewing pleasure. Again, we'll be here Thursday with another amazing guest. And just want to thank you so much for being here throughout the week. I have other live streams. Those will be listed in case you're interested. The Experience Live with Russ and Scott will be this Wednesday. And the Russ Reels Live will be Thursday. Those will be amazing shows as well. So I invite you there. And speaking of Instagram, don't forget we have the Experience Backstage at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Wednesdays before we go to the Experience Live with Russ and Scott, which is at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So thanks so much for all that. And listen, until we see you again, I'm just praying you have a blessed and amazing life. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.